If you are currently leveling up your Django skills with this tutorial, just to let you know, this tutorial is part of a free YouTube playlist, Django Database Structural Testing, where we learn how to set up and utilize PyTest for database structural testing within Django projects. If you like this tutorial and playlist, then also check out our Django Database ORM Mastery course on Udemy. The link to the course and playlist should be found in the video description. For anyone who is new to testing in Django, one of the first hurdles or questions that you might ask yourself is, how do I actually structure tests? Where do I actually put tests within my Django project? Now, typically, there are two main schools of thought regarding the placement of tests in Django projects. That's placing tests in projects at the app level and at the project level. The app level approach is a widely adopted approach and is generally recommended. It does promote modularity and easier maintenance as your Django project scales. With the app level approach, test files will reside within each app's directory. So typically, when we build a Django application, we have the main app folder, which has the settings file within it. Our main project folder, and then typically we then go ahead and develop specific app folders or apps within our project. So we have an app folder. Now inside of this folder, when we create a new app in Django, typically a new file is created. The test file is created within inside of that app. Now we can just utilize that file, but typically what happens, you end up turning that into a folder and all the tests then reside in that folder. Utilizing this app level approach, tests are located alongside the app's code, which makes it easy to understand what they're testing and easier to then maintain the tests as the app evolves. This structure provides a clear separation of concerns, keeping tests close to the code they verify. So as your project grows with more apps, so if we have, for example, app 2 and so on, of course, this is going to then have the same type of approach. We may use a test file or create a test folder within the app. And of course, all the tests are then going to be close to the app, which makes it easy to understand what the tests might be utilized for. And of course, it makes it easy to maintain the tests, find the tests, because they're going to be placed within the individual apps. The second approach, project level tests, here we simply have maybe a folder on the root directory, maybe called tests, and this will then serve as the directory where all tests are found for your particular Django application. Now, this might be considered a more or less common approach, but it may be suitable for smaller projects or projects with a high degree of cross-app functionality. As I described, all the test files will reside in a single directory, usually named tests, at the project root level. So the benefit of this is that it's a simpler structure. For small projects, this approach can offer simpler initial setup, easy to find all the tests is in just one folder. And like I said, this would be useful if you have, for example, a lot of cross-app functionality. So if many tests involve interactions between multiple apps, keeping them together might ease organization of such cases. So to summarize, for most Django projects, the app level testing approach is generally preferred for its well-organized structure and scalability. However, the project level approach can be a viable option for small projects or specific situations. Ultimately, the best approach depends on your project needs and preferences.